Hey, what's up, y'all? Good morning. So the O.C.A. method is starting to attract some attention, build some momentum. So every day I'm gonna try to come out one of these videos. It's gonna take me at least 2 months to even get out there. You know, like the foundation to what O.C.A. is, and you know everything like that. It's called a method because of how we went about the research of finding it. You know, we use the scientific method, you know, the problem, thesis, you know, the whole conclusion, the body of work, all that. Plus, we also use the powered method, the prepare, organize, work, evaluate, and rethink. These aren't just only three words that, you know what I'm saying, we went about using. It's the 3 words that I found out that they complement each other. So it's a method, not necessarily meaning that you have to start with being open, then communicate, then take accountability. Some people could just use one of them, some people use all 3, but there's not a sequence in which it needs to be done, like the STEP program. You know what I'm saying? The STEP program, you know, one follows the other, and then once you finish, you go back and do it. The O.C.A. method is a lifestyle, it's a mindset. You know what I'm saying? So it can be done while you're doing the steps. For me personally, it's what I needed to help keep me clean. It's what I needed to help me able to keep moving forward. So if it helps me, maybe it'll help somebody else. So then I started to get really into depth with the research, right? So now where do you find research? Where do you find certified or whatever research that you could actually use? Like newspapers and certain books, it's that person's biased opinion on that subject, right? So that's not kind of information I could use. What I needed it to use was scholarly articles. Scholarly articles is something like, let's say I'm a psychiatrist, I put out the O.C.A. method, right? Then the O.C.A. method is then, you know, looked upon by other peers in my field that are certified, and then they come out with their findings. So it's not just me saying, oh, O.C.A. works, and then you need to do this, this, and this in order to be successful at life. You gotta remember, Inspire is not just for drug addicts, for addicts of any nature, and non-addicts. So I wanted to come up with something, a lifestyle, not a step program. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking NA, I'm not knocking AA, so the DMs, y'all could come pull back a little bit with the DMs. If that's what makes you happy. Inspire is all about making people happy. So if you want to shit on me, go ahead, because you know why? Because I'm able to hold accountable. But remember, holding yourself accountable isn't just for your fuck-ups. Like holding yourself accountable, the fact that I put myself out there on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I put myself out there on social media. There's going to be people that no matter what, you could have perfect credit, look great, have the cars, have the money. You could have everything that society tells you need in order to be desirable and still not be desired. You know what I'm saying? So for me, holding accountable, the fact that I put myself out there allowed me to be okay with these DMs and the hate and this and that you're not gonna work. Keep telling me shit's impossible too, by the way. Keep telling me that shit. And listen, I don't give a fuck if you didn't graduate high school. I don't give a fuck if you didn't graduate college. I don't care about any. Do not let anybody tell you that you can't create knowledge, that you can't pass along knowledge to somebody. We're not born smarter. So people from the ghetto ain't dumb, and people from rich neighborhoods ain't just smart. Does the environment help? It does, but it does not necessarily make it that you are or you aren't. It's something that's inquired. If you want it, you can go get it, all right? And listen, there's a 35-year-old, he was 35 in prison, didn't know how to learn read. He learned how to read at 35, right? Once he learned how to read, the world opened up to him. The O.C.A. method helped open up my world to me because of the way it's making me accountable. I'm able to communicate. I'm able to identify my bias. Opinions is gone. But once he learned how to read, the world became a beautiful place. This gentleman does TED Talks now to teach trading stocks in layman terms, as well as teach people that are successful stockbrokers how to be even more successful, all right? So don't tell me, do not let anybody tell you you cannot create something because you didn't graduate college. You can't do this because of that. If this is in here, if you are passionate about something, you go for that fucking shit. And if you have problems going for that shit, 646-923-4711, because that's what Inspire is for. We're here for anybody and everybody, all right? So it's gonna take like 2 months to be able, because each word is really broken down to the science, and then the concept mapping of it, to showing the relationships between, all of that is used. But just to give you guys a little quick, because everything's about, you know, like content when you put out just a few things. You know, I broke down the accountability, the open-mindedness, and the communication real quick, just to show you guys what my questions were and how I was going about. So the accountability, right? How do you start the conversation with somebody about accountability, right? What are the right questions to ask somebody about accountability? How could you tell yes or no if the person's accountable or not accountable by their actions, by what's going on in their life, right? how could you judge the level of someone's accountability by non-related questions, right? That's just to dabble in it. It's a lot more into it. And then the open-mindedness, right? Questions that open up to know the extent of how open-minded the person is, how much of their biased opinions are actually controlling their way of thinking, because there's subconscious and conscious biased opinion, right? You could be growing up in the ghetto, right? And just because you're in the ghetto, you just automatically sometimes assume that white people are rich, or vice versa. You're growing up in a good neighborhood and automatically think people from the ghetto are poor. It's just your environment. You were brought up into it. It's not even like you're thinking about it. It just happens, right? How to show a narrow-sided person the benefits of being open-minded, right? Process, right? It's baby steps. So how do I go about what are the first couple steps in that to start to show someone? Because someone that's narrow-minded is going to be very hard to get through. You know what I'm saying? And we're creating something here that we're going to have to learn how to get through to each other, right? We're going to have to learn how to listen to each other. And this is what the whole method is for, right? How to show someone who's open-minded that they are open-minded and don't even know. You know what I'm saying? How to bring that momentum, how to build that momentum, right? And then real life experiences of being open-minded, or real life experience of narrow-mindedness, and then communication, right? When's the right time to show someone tough love? Because a lot of the times we think I show the person tough love. Sometimes it's not the right moment. So when are the right moments to show someone tough? How do you know that person's able to feel, take that tough love and not get discouraged and not become then an introvert, and and then stop what they're doing, right? These are just a few things. Listen, I got a big ass book, like I said, 2 months, right? Words that are important to be mindful on how they're said. Like certain words, like for instance, how do you say you're doing something wrong? What is the right word to tell someone they're doing something wrong without making them feel like a failure? These are things that I got real in depth with, and then comfort words that can help someone that's going through something tough, give them some kind of comfort through their real life experience, right? And then I asked, well, why when we release these demons, or we release that thing, why is life so much easier? Why is it so much stressful? What part of the brain are we allowing to maybe recover, or allowing to strengthen, that's helping us get through it, right? Major words, and in the manner in which they're said, to start building a relationship with an introvert, because as y'all can tell, I'm an extrovert. So how do I start building it, for an introvert, right? And then how to start building boundaries. Like where are the boundaries? How do you build the boundaries? How could you foresee a boundary to start it before it actually begins? You know what I'm saying? And then what are other forms of communication that could get an introvert, out of their shell, whether it be music, whether it be entertainment, whether it be art, what are all these other things? So again, listen, the O.C.A is picking up momentum. O.C.A, it works, y'all. It works because I'm the one that's living through it. You know what I'm saying? And the information I got from professionals. And it's not just I made this shit up. But then again, I just want to close this with, do not let anyone ever tell you that you are not smart enough to do something, that you are not qualified to do something because you don't got letters after your name. You're not qualified because you didn't graduate from fucking Howard, or you didn't graduate from Harvard. Fuck all of that, man. If you are passionate about something and something lives inside here, you gotta let it out, and you let it out the way you know how. And this is how I know how to let it out. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all.